Hello, everyone, and welcome to my discussion. Today, I want to focus on Esther Peterson, a labor leader, women's rights advocate, and later consumer affairs advisor to President Kennedy. My central claim is that Peterson's career illustrates how women both navigated and shaped the post-war economy, using advocacy to expand workplace equality and strengthen consumer protections. Her life and work highlight not only her personal contributions, but also the broader demographic shift of women entering the workforce and families relying on dual incomes in post-war America. Peterson began her career as a teacher and labor organizer in the 1930s and 40s. By the early 1960s, she was appointed director of the Women's Bureau in the Department of Labor. From that position, she became one of the chief advocates for the Equal Pay Act of 1963. In her congressional testimony, she emphasized wage disparities between men and women and argued that the issue is not only one of fairness but of economic necessity. This connects to economist Paul Romer's point that institutions and policies shape whether opportunity grows or remains stagnant. Peterson's push for equal pay was not simply about justice in the workplace. It was about building the kind of institutional framework Romer describes, one that broadens economic growth by including women's wages and labor in a more systematic way. Beyond equal pay, Peterson shaped policy in another way. As President Kennedy's Special Assistant for Consumer Affairs, in her reports to the President, she stressed that families needed clear labeling, honest pricing, and protections against unsafe products. Here, Christian Sandvik's idea about the importance of applying technical knowledge fits well. Peterson worked with data, reports, and statistics, but her strength was in translating that technical information into policy that directly affected families at the grocery store or in their homes. She bridged the gap between abstract information and everyday use, exactly the kind of applied knowledge Sandvik says is crucial for meaningful change. Her story also reflects larger demographic shifts after World War II. Women's participation in the labor force continued to climb. No longer a temporary wartime phenomenon, Peterson's advocacy captured this reality, pushing for policies that align with demographic change. At the same time, her emphasis on consumer rights mirrored the rise of suburban middle class, where mass consumption defined both economic growth and family life. In conclusion, Esther Peterson's career shows how one person bridged labor rights, women's equality, and consumer protection in the post-war economy. She was not only a policymaker, but also a representative of the era's major demographic transitions, the rise of women in the workplace, and the growth of consumer-driven prosperity. Using insights from Romer and Sandvik, we can see how her work linked fairness, growth, and practical reforms. Studying Peterson reminds us that individuals can shape national policy and that women were central in redefining fairness and economic citizenship in the 20th century. Thank you so much for listening.